first GT Academy race of the weekend at Silverstone saw James Nicholas start from pole position and lead every lap on his way to a race victory. That summary does not do the race justice though. It was a nip and tuck battle between Nicholas and Jamie Caudle, whilst further back Alex Deaton had a bit of a tricky opening lap. He ran wide at Stowe and then had to really defend from Joe Edge. These two were tied together for the entire duration of the 25-minute race. That 25-minute race was interrupted by a safety car midway through after a spin for Gilbert Verdian, and upon the restart, third-place man, championship leader Charlie Digby, got it all wrong at Copse Corner and opened the door for rookie leader Sam Shrimpton to get to the inside. It was a brilliant tussle between the two of them. Shrimpton had a comfortable lead in the rookie class until this little tangle. Luckily, both drivers kept it together, but that briefly brought Shiv Sapra into play, and he challenged for the rookie class lead. A few drivers were struggling on cold tyres after the restart. Alan Wright had a rotation up at the loop, which nearly led to a spin for Chris Babington, making his debut in the championship. Chris was in the top 10 at that time. Then Mike West had a tangle with Peter Thompson at Luffield. Both cars went around. Thompson continued. West reversed into the gravel and retirement. James Nicholas held on through it all, though, to claim his first victory of the season. 3 different winners in the first 4 races.
I mean, fair play to Jamie and James. They kept their head down, were pushing hard. I looked up at the restart and then had to fend off Shrimpton from behind. So kind of then it was a case of just getting my head down, putting in some quick laps, which I did, but not enough to catch them in time for the race end. Getting them back to, I think they might have got a bit hot in the first kind of stint before the safety car. Cool them back down and go again after the restart. So yeah, I definitely felt more at home after the safety car restart. Yeah, I mean my lap times probably reflected that.
Yeah, I had a really good chance going for James. I would have been a bit ambitious going for a move into Maggots, but then the safety car was called. But after making a few mistakes, I managed to catch up to him every time, so I was happy with the pace. Yeah, I think with the tyres getting nice and toasty towards the end, holding the pace was tricky. I definitely made a few mistakes, especially final lap, last corner. I almost lost it. Charlie kept the pressure on consistently, so it was tough, but overall thoroughly enjoyed.
Yeah. I mean, it was hard work. It was really hard work, and I, for some reason, forgot how to do some of the bends midway. I don't know why that was. Done 3 days here, and but yeah, he definitely put the pressure on big time, which probably got to my head a little bit. So I'll learn from that tomorrow, and hopefully just pay attention more to my race rather than just staring at him and gauging a little marker on my windscreen. I was gauging how far he was. I shouldn't do that, so maybe I'll just look forwards more. But yeah, Jamie was rapid, really fit, really fast, Jamie, so fair play.
Yeah, I mean, look, first time on this GP circuit, this was a dream come true. I held my position, the guys in front of me are so fast, like, I am working so hard in there to try and get close to them. When Charlie went a bit wide into that first corner in Copse after the restart, I just knew James was going to go really early, so we were luckily all together. And I had to go for it into Maggots and Beckett's, but I publicly apologise with a little bit of a scuff. But I think he would have done the same if I'd have made the same mistake. So, but class win, and Shiv properly kept me honest. So did Alex, and they were right there and all around me. So yeah, close racing.
What a race the Ginetta GT Academy drivers have just put on for us here at Silverstone, their second and final race of the weekend. And it was, as expected really, for much of it, a 3-way fight at the front between the top 3 in the championship, James Nicholas and Charlie Digby, with Jamie Caudle keeping a watching brief as Digby charged round the outside of Nicholas and Beckett's on lap 1 to claim the early race lead. From there, though, Charlie was never really able to get away, and James Nicholas was constantly hounding him and would eventually make a move for the lead of the race. Always aware, though, that Jamie Caudle wasn't far back. It was a mistake for Digby at the loop that initially opened the door for Nicholas. And Digby then had to go back round the outside at Beckett's to repeat the manoeuvre he made at the start of the race. Chris Babington was tipped into a spin after this contact with Shiv Sapra. That wouldn't be the last drama for either driver in the race. Meanwhile, at the front of the field, James Nicholas went for an ambitious move at Brooklands, clattered into the side of Digby. They both spun and handed the win on a plate to Jamie Caudle. Shiv Sapra then collided with Mike West at high speed at Copse Corner. They both ended up retiring into the gravel trap, and Mike West very lucky not to make significant contact with the barriers. On the final lap, a recovering Digby clattered into the side then of Alex Deaton, broke the right rear suspension, and that would lead to a non-finish for the erstwhile championship leader. The championship lead now, though, taken by Jamie Caudle, who claimed his second victory of the season.
Yeah, well, it didn't quite go to plan, I guess. Not too sure what happened, to be honest. I think it broke a bit early. We broke very early, and I just had nowhere to go, and that was it, side by side. It wasn't a bigger hit. It was just one of those where you were turning, both came side by side, and we were both pirouetted round. But yeah, wasn't ideal, but hey ho, yeah, we still finished and not too much damage. So.
Yeah, look, it was lovely for me that one. I got a good start. It was that hairy lap 1, right, but then it settled down. I managed to get P3 at one point, but then out-dragged myself, and then I had a lonely race in 4th, right, and I was just trying to hang on to lads in front, and then of course it all got really busy at the end. Yeah, but I kept my nerve and came home with P2 when the other lads had a bit of a ding-dong. Yeah, look, I mean, it's you actually get a rest down a couple of straights and you've got time to look around, you see where you are, so that for me is helpful. I like the short sections. I can move the car around a bit more. Just need a little bit more in the quick for me.
Yeah, that was definitely one of the more interesting ones. I think I was happy that I had the pace to stay with the leading 2. I did make a few mistakes and drop back to them, but overall it was really unfortunate for James and Charlie. It was just a racing incident, but I couldn't be happier, to be honest.
Yeah, no, it's unexpected, if I'm honest. I was struggling to keep up with some of the guys in front of me, but just drove my own race and just tried to keep it clean, keep it on the track. And just avoid all the mayhem wherever I came across it. But yeah, no, it's been a good race. Yeah, I think that the thing for amateur drivers, especially around here, is you've just got so much time to think. You can think about every corner. You don't get too hung up if you make mistakes because there's quite a lot of runoff area. So it's a great track for AM drivers to learn on.